Well, where's Paul Rudd when you need him? I didn't think we'd be here. Did you think we were going to be here? I didn't see this happening. But it is happening. England are in the Euro 2020 final, where they take on Italy. And this is a preview for just that. This preview will make you feel nervous. It will make you feel tense. But fortunately, we're sponsored for the final. So there will be some absolutely bizarre light relief for you to enjoy. I'll do a deal with you. If you laugh, you've got to click on the link in the description. Let's keep it as simple as that. If you laugh, if you don't, watch it. If you don't laugh, don't click on it. If I can get a laugh out of you, do Jimbo a favour. Click on the link. I honestly can't believe we're here. And as you know from the video, and thank you for all the lovely messages, I will be going to the game and I'll be screaming for you. My voice will no doubt be gone. But I will attempt to do a video after it, and fingers crossed you will see Screaming Jim on this channel very soon. If you don't want to miss out on that, do two things for me. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button if you've enjoyed the Euros content, and hit the notification bell as well, just in case I go live. I mean, I really hope I don't, but who knows how drunk I'll be. Let's begin. Let's talk about our opponents, Italy, who, I've said this a few times on the channel, I think they have been the story of the tournament. I know Denmark, from a completely different perspective, of course, have been a huge story. But in terms of on the pitch, I think they have just been an absolute joy to watch. And what do we know about Italy? We know that in this game, no doubt, they will play with gusto, with dynamism, and they will create chances for themselves. That's how they play the game. We know exactly how they're going to set up. They're going to set up with a 4-3-3. We probably know the personnel apart from a few calls, but ultimately the players that come off the bench as well will also play in the exact same style and role as the players that they've replaced. We also know this team is super resilient as well, and that sort of triangle at the back of Donnarumma, one of the most informed goalkeepers on the planet, and then two stalwarts in Chiellini and Bonucci, means that they're pretty frightening both going forward and defensively. And we also know they've probably got the most balanced midfield in the competition as well, in Verratti, Barella and Jorginho, and technically probably one of the most gifted as well. All that said, there was actually a lot of, I guess, criticism or just generally an understanding that Spain were pretty good in the game against Italy. Did they deserve to win it? I think it was a style of play that made them look really good, but they also had a tactical plan and they did it really, really well. But what was really interesting when we look at the passing maps and the average positions for Italy is something that we haven't seen prior. Now, I'm going to go to the tactical board, actually, first of all, because Jorginho here, these are the average positions for the Belgium game. And I remember looking at this and thinking, this is a dream for Mancini. This is exactly what he would have wanted. He would have wanted these players out wide to have had that starting position, to have started out wide. And Barella, in terms of him breaking a neck to get forward, he would have wanted that. And the space between them all, if you're not winning games and not dominating, is a little bit scary. But when you are, this is pretty much the lineup that you would want. You want Emerson to get on. You want Barella to get on. You want Chiesa and Insigne to start out wide and be able to kind of move in. And you don't need anyone too close together because it's about you attacking, not defending. And Jorginho in particular, that's the player I really want to square in this case instead of circle. Jorginho, slap bang in the middle of the pitch. Dictating. Not with a K. That's one word, dictating. This is the Belgium game where they dictated the game. I don't know why I keep saying dictated. That's nothing to do with the fact that they're Italian. It's a joke. Leave it. What I'm saying is... it's been a long week. What I'm saying is that Jorginho kept an eye on Pedri. He sat on Pedri, not literally. That would be ridiculous. He would just get off him and he'd get booked. It'd be stupid. But he did look to stop Pedri at every opportunity and just kind of follow him round. And just as interestingly, Di Lorenzo, normally you would expect him to be out wide here as a right back or even up here if he was going to be a bit more attacking. But he was concentrating on the defensive side of it. He had a very clear role stopping Pedri and in particular stopping Pedri's passing lane to Dani Olmo, I think it was. Yeah, Dani Olmo. So Pedri looks to play that pass, and you can see if we go back to it, Di Lorenzo trying to stop Pedri, Jorginho trying to stop Pedri. What this meant was that Verratti had to be that player who played in the central area a little bit more so than normal instead of going and helping. And that triangle between the three of them was a lot a lot wider than it normally is. They normally kind of overload that left-hand side a little bit more because you've got Jorginho in the middle. And what it also meant was that Italy had to attack massively down that left-hand side. And you saw that with Insigne being on the end of the most progressive passes with 37. Exciting times ahead, guys, because very soon I'm going to be explaining this graph. But before then, as promised, a little bit of light relief from our sponsor. Yes. Don't forget our agreement. It is an absolute delight for me to introduce the sponsor for this video, SURFSHARK. Now, you guys won't be aware of this because I'm a very multifaceted guy, but a very private guy. I don't really show my emotions on camera. But I have a lot in common with SURFSHARK. Yeah. Yes. Yes. You won't believe this because I surf. Yep. Yep. I know. I surf. Yeah. With sharks. SURFSHARK. Crazy, right? Please just go with it. They might come back. So, what is SURFSHARK, I hear you ask? Well, SURFSHARK is a virtual private network, a VPN. It keeps your online identity safe by encrypting all of the information sent between your device and the internet. This keeps your personal data protected from big companies and cyber criminals. A VPN swaps your real location with a location of your choice. You're changing your IP address. And this way you can virtually travel anywhere on the globe. Now, what does that do for us, Jim? I hear you ask. Well, we'll get into that in a second, but I just wanted to drill down on the just synergy, again, between me and SURFSHARK. Because do you know what's even crazier? I also like surfing on the web. As a shark. SURFSHARK. I love SURFSHARK because it has over 3,200 servers in 65 countries. You know what that means? It means that you can unblock sports streams that you would not normally be able to see in the UK. I'm talking boxing, UFC, tennis, other sports, loads. Get SURFSHARK. And if you're on holiday and you want to watch Match of the Day or some of the big games, you can again change your location to come back and watch it here. It's a no-brainer, guys. And what about streaming services? You can unblock and access streaming libraries from other countries. If you've watched everything in the UK on Netflix, head over to America, head over to Japan, get yourself surfing over to Brazil. You can watch any of those libraries with SURFSHARK. It also allows you to bypass censorship everywhere. So if you, for example, have been watching me on ESPN, if you are not in the UK, you've not been able to watch my fantastic, intelligent, sensible and very serious football analysis on ESPN because there is a geo-blocker on it at the moment. But with a SURFSHARK VPN, you would be able to watch me on ESPN being taken seriously, unlike now. In terms of security, a VPN encrypts your online data and secures your personal data. So if you're out and about and you're using free public Wi-Fi, you've got to be concerned about that. So change your location, use a VPN, and have a secure connection. Because free public Wi-Fi is an absolute goldmine for hackers. You don't want to look silly, do you? A VPN makes sure that your city, your country, and your download history is not linked to your online identity. And crucially, SURFSHARK in particular does not monitor, store, or track anything that you do online. Joking aside, massive thank you to SURFSHARK, which is one, a fantastic product, but secondly, is supporting me and my dreams to take myself to a very special place this week. So if you want them to take you anywhere around the world using their VPN, then please do consider supporting the channel and getting yourself a fantastic product by checking out the link in the description and take up the fantastic offer that SURFSHARK is providing via myself using the code Allcott. Make sure you spell it right, ALLCOTT, for 83% off and 3 extra months completely free. For the love of God, hit the link in the description. Now listen to this. This is the important part because SURFSHARK are offering a 30-day money-back guarantee. So you can support the channel and get yourself a fantastic VPN, as I said, with so many servers around the world, completely risk-free. Once again, Allcott, ALLCOTT, 83% off, 3 months for free. Dive into this. If you don't enjoy it and you don't feel like it's worth it, you get your money back. But it will be worth it. I'm using it now and it's fantastic. There's no way I'm ever presenting matches. There's just no way. I'll just have to watch it on holiday. I can with Surfshark. Click link. Right, guys, let's get back to it. Emerson and his role in this team. What's really interesting is that with Spinazzola, you saw him dribble a lot. With Emerson, he has a very clear role. It's to mobilise Insigne. You can see from his passes here, generally, it's a simple pass backwards, or he's looking to get the ball to Insigne in this area here as much as possible. The most interesting thing is something that you can't even see. It's this. Look at the events. If I change this and I take distribution off, I actually have successful dribbles clicked as well. Nothing. No successful dribbles. So Emerson is a decoy, or he's trying to get Insigne onto the ball. He is not dribbling himself, which is what we saw with Spinazzola. That is fascinating. The reason it's fascinating is because if he plays that same way, we know that. We know that he's not going to dribble too much. And so we can stop that. Another thing you can see with Emerson, from his heat map, he didn't bomb on like Spinazzola did. He played a lot more defensively, partly down to how well Spain controlled the game, but also down to the role he was given. So Emerson playing a little bit more defensively than Spinazzola. This is Jorginho, and these are his interceptions. He had 8 interceptions in the game, and they're all over the pitch as well. And I think that was just something to highlight, just the fact that it's actually a little bit better than we thought in that skill set. And that is another question mark with this game, is if we do play the same team and Mason Mount plays, he's going to have to do these similar things and put out these fires and be very clever defensively to stop someone like Mason Mount. The final green splodge I'd like to show you is that of Barella. Now, we know about Barella going forward. He's been brilliant. 4 goal-scoring actions, which is it's more than any other Italian player. But again, defensively, he does so much work and commands the whole wide area of the pitch, really, and actually then helps out Di Lorenzo, as we showed earlier, to kind of go into that more central area, because Barella, with his energy and his positioning, is able to stop the opposition passing through. That left-hand side could be crucial in this game for us, because what's worked has been Luke Shaw and Raheem Sterling. And so expect to see Barella frustrating us quite often in this game. So what have we learned about Italy here? What we've learned is that what's in their head, really, a little bit, as much as anything. And the fact is, it's again, difficult to put some negatives towards them, really, because even when they do need to defend, even when they have to have that kind of defensive mindset, they are diligent in their work and willing to put in those hard yards to stop the opposition. On to England. Hey, come on, England. The whole world wants you to win it. Or at least my world. Right. Let's have a look. The thing I want to talk about, Raheem Sterling, the guy's a god. I think we know that now, and we will never doubt him ever again. In this graph, what you can see is his average position. You go, hang on, now wait a minute. He's not playing centre forward. He was playing out wide here with Luke Shaw. But the average position just shows that he had a really free role and played on the left. And then there was a tactical switch by Gareth Southgate. Yeah, that absolute nobody with no managerial experience who doesn't really know what he's doing. He made a really good tactical switch. Striker was playing on against Luke Shaw on the left-hand side. They weren't really worried about him going forward, so they said, Raheem, go have a little jog about. Do your business. Do what you want. And because Kyle Walker's staying back, there's still some space up there, and you can get some joy on that right-hand side when it works, because you can double up with Saka and with Mount. And what that means is that Mailer will have to stay back because he's worried about venturing forward, because he's going to leave space in behind. It's almost like he does his work. Nah, it can't be that. Can't be that. And you can see that from his touch map here. He was brilliant. He was so good. There was that period, wasn't there, in the extra time where we just went, shall we give it to Raheem again? And then he went and destroyed them. But all over the pitch, getting on the ball. And again, I would like to see that. I'm happy with that, especially with Italy on the right-hand side. Maybe, Di Lorenzo not getting forward that much. That might be a real threat for us to kind of create overloads when we are able to keep a hold of the ball. Because I think, once again, we won't go through the middle too much. And so we're going to need to kind of get in behind Chiellini and Bonucci by using those wide players that we've got. We've got such quality and pace. Kane wants to drop deep, so let's do that. Speaking of Harry Kane, I think there was an idea, and we spoke about it in the last preview, that England don't really go into zone 14. But Harry Kane was kind of starting to get involved a little bit more, and the kind of, the levers of the team. Almost you see him drop and then you go Saka or Sterling. We're starting to kind of see that a little bit more. He was able to get on the ball. You can see this from his touch map. He was getting the ball a little bit more often in deeper areas, but still not really able to get into that central area, which I did wonder if he might be able to create that overload there, because there might be that space with them playing two in midfield. But it turned out that there wasn't, and he had to do a lot of the hard yards in the channels for England. But don't forget about that, because I want to talk about that a little bit later on. Mason Mount got a little bit of stick, but I think it was a really unselfish display from him, and I think he's got a massive, massive part to play in this next game as well. His ability to kind of move into awkward spaces for defenders is really, really integral. Like, if he wanted to just go and score goals, he would go and play with Harry Kane all the time, but he knows that that's not his role in this team. And the same goes for without the ball. He presses so intelligently, and it gives us such a base, and it creates opportunities for Rice and Phillips to go and win the ball. And I don't think you can underestimate how important that is, especially, again, against such a technical midfield. The battle between him and Jorginho in this game is going to be absolutely massive. I can't stress it enough. I actually stressed it so much there that I nearly bit the microphone. Sorry about that. The last person that I want to talk about is King Kyle Walker. That's right, that's his name now. Because he is a recovery monster. I think it's 10 times he did it, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 recoveries. He's just such a lovely, well-groomed safety blanket for England. And when we look back on this tournament, his defensive ability and those recovery runs, regardless of what you want to say with him with the ball, especially when we've got someone like Luke Shaw who gets a little bit further forward and we attack down that left-hand side, to have someone like Kyle Walker who will see everything that's happening and then can go out and just sort it out for us is absolutely priceless. And he was completely priceless against Denmark. Absolutely wonderful. And huge to us getting through. So to summarise, Italy deserve more credit defensively and England deserve more credit offensively. These are two brilliant teams who have played really, really well. But how will they get on against each other? What are the key battles in this game? As I said earlier, these are the average positions from the Belgium game, apart from Emerson, who I've put where Spinazzola was. And for England, you've got Harry Kane, of course. Hey! I'm not going to do all of them again. Saka, I think, will start. And the reason I think Saka will start is because of Emerson and looking to stop them. Because this left-hand side, the right-hand side for England, is absolutely huge. I mean, the whole game's huge, isn't it? I mean, I'm going to keep saying the word huge, aren't I? But that right-hand side, because Insigne's just been so good in this tournament, it's huge for us to stop Emerson. And it's huge for Walker to stop Insigne. Sterling on that left-hand side, massive for us. Mount, ginormous. Rice, big. Phillips, large. Stones, adequately sized. Maguire, giant head. Luke Shaw, really big. And Walker, Giganosaurus. And of course, Pickford and Carr. So here is the team. I'm so tired. The key areas, right? So I think Saka plays because I think he can utilise that kind of right wing back sensibility to keep an eye on Emerson. And Southgate, I think he likes a base. I think you can look at it as being negative, but I think actually he just wants a base to go from. And that comes from cancelling out the opposition. So I think with Saka instead of a Sancho, he can go past him, but he can also track him back. And that will stop supply into Insigne. Walker, massive game to play because he's got to get his positioning right, where sometimes he's going to want to go and get tight with Insigne, but also he's going to want to do those recovery runs like he has done as well. So it's going to be tricky for him. And the midfield battle, the right side of midfield is a massive talking point as well, because I think there is one change I might make. Stones, Maguire. Maguire's a joke in the last game, just to be clear. Luke Shaw's great. And like we said a few times, bit of an elbow from this back line. So although we won't be playing a back three, Walker will stay back and it will feel like a back three at times. Phillips and Rice in the middle. And then Mount and Kane. Sterling will start here. I think he'll have that same freedom maybe. But I think all of them will. Because I think with Chiellini and Bonucci, if we go and stand on them, I think it's a little bit pointless for us. I think if we go and start here at least, and in particular, what I expect from our average positions is Mount to go past Kane. Because I think Jorginho, there's a massive mistake that could happen. If Mancini does it, and I don't think he will, but if he does, if he says, oh, you went and stopped Pedri, go and stop their attacking midfielder again, and that person's Mount will go away. He is so selfless. He'll just go, well, I'm going to stand over here then. And then there's a massive gap for Harry Kane. Space a clock, right? If Jorginho does that, I mean, that comes down to control of the game. So it'll be interesting to see how quick we play. If this game is like ridiculously hectic, I'm not sure that's the best for us. But the control will need to come from these two players. They've got such a game to play. Because Rice, who throughout it, and I think I've said it in every single preview, will focus on this left-hand side to help out. And he'll have to deal with Barella and Chiesa. Luke Shaw will, bomb on and get back. And he's made some really smart moves inside to make big challenges as well, especially in the Denmark game. But I expect Declan Rice to do what he does best. Stop that. Because I don't think anyone who's played on the right wing has done well against us, and that gets forgotten about a lot. Going forward, he is a bit frustrating. You want him to play the ball forward a little bit more, a bit quicker, and hopefully he can do that. But I expect Harry Kane to really, really get involved here. And I've got one prediction I do want to make about Harry Kane. I've just got a massive feeling that Harry Kane is just going to score a rocket in this game. He's going to get the ball, turn. Chiellini and Bonucci might not be right at him. And because of that movement from Mount and Saka and Sterling going past him, I think he might get the opportunity to have a shot. And I think he could just hit a rocket for us. I feel like that might come. Sorry, I just needed to get that out. Because I really think that could happen. Because there is an overload available here if we want to do it. If we can move the ball quickly enough. But of course, they have their own one as well here on this left-hand side with Verratti. So that is the one change. And let me know in the comments below. And this breaks my heart to say this. But I do think there's a massive call to be made in midfield. Phillips was very poor in the first half, got much better in the second half, and actually retained his place. It was Declan Rice who came off. But in that right-hand side, which we know Henderson can play, I do think there is a talking point here with Henderson to play in this role in a final where we did have a 20-minute wobble. And also, I don't want to go too big on this wobble because we actually got ourselves out of that wobble. So to focus on it for too long is a problem. But the decision is, and I don't think Southgate will do this, because I think Southgate will want to do what he's done, which is play to 60 minutes, then you bring on the leadership of Henderson to help drive us forward once again, because the tempo and the voice that he brings, that leadership that he brings is huge, but you don't want to do it too late. And I just wonder if that tenacity from him, there might be something in that where you stop Verratti, where you make the right calls to go with Insigne, where you speak to Walker and go, stay. I'll do it. I think that's a call that Southgate has got to make. And it would be cruel. And Phillips, don't get it twisted. He's been so good. He is the next Henderson. He really is. If he wants to be that leader. Of course, we haven't seen that side of his personality just yet. And with Phillips, there's also a talking point with the fact that he can drop in and play as a centre-back. I don't think we'll ever need to do that. But I just think this is such a key area. And I wonder if you put Henderson in there. Because I think his passing's as good, if not better. And also, I think it's about attacking these areas quickly. What happens with Phillips sometimes is that he kind of trots forward into this space. I don't think we need to do that. I think we need to retain that space and keep two players sitting that little bit more. I think this game is really made for Henderson. I'd love to see him play. I don't think he will, but I know that our bench has got a huge part to play in this game. Huge game to play. But I've just got a funny feeling about Mount doing something stupidly clever for us. And Harry Kane. I just smell a rocket. That sounds horrible, doesn't it? So there you have it, guys. It's been a journey. It's been a glorious one. And this is the final stop. Fingers crossed we can do it. I'm so proud of these boys. They've worked their socks off. Some of them haven't played the minutes that they've wanted to. No one's said a word. They've turned into a family. I heard Luke Shaw say it himself. He said they're a family now. And that's what we want from our international side. You know, that's the national pride we were looking for all along. My prediction for this game, and I haven't given predictions really in a lot of these games. I think we're going to do this. I really do. I think they're great. They've got so much energy, but I also think they ran themselves into the ground. And I also think that we have a mix, if we can get the ball to Mount and Kane and Sterling, in those pockets, we've also got those players that can drive beyond and get behind and get round the side of Chiellini and Bonucci. Of course they're going to have moments. Of course we're going to have wobbles. I really think we'll do it. I really do. The more I think about it, I think the team that Southgate will pick will be the right one. I think he'll make the changes. I think he's got more firepower to bring on than Italy do. I think we're going to do it. I really do. Maguire, the passes he was playing, he is in a state of flow. His confidence is just sky high. Things could happen, you know. But with the crowd behind them as well, I really believe we're going to do it. I really do. If I'm wrong, so be it. You know, we go again, in the words of Gary Allcott. And again, I'm going to finish with the words of Gary Allcott. Make a plan for Sunday. Don't plan for Monday. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. Thank you so much for watching all of these previews and all the lovely comments that you've sent me on Twitter, on Instagram, and all those things. But please, enjoy the game. I'm going to try to as well. And may the best team win. Italy have been fantastic. And if they win it, they deserve it. But if we win it, I truly believe that we deserve it. Now, not every fan that isn't English seems to think that way. But like Gareth, for me, that's kind of noise now. I'm concentrating on us. I'm concentrating on those great players that have played so well for us. And I hope they can go and do it. Because I'd love to see them all smiling at the end of it all. But in terms of prediction, I really see us doing it. I have two predictions. One, we go and win it. 2-0, maybe 2-1. I feel like there's going to be a Kane rocket. I really do. If Sterling scores a goal, he has to be player of the tournament for me. And if that doesn't happen, I think it could go all the way. I think there might be an element. I might get this wrong and we might cancel each other out. And if it does, then I think we've got the backbone and the quality and the energy and the freshness and the depth to win it. It's a 90-minute game, maybe a 120-minute game. I think we've got it. I think we've got it. I think we're growing. Come on, England. Good luck. I'll see you on the other side.